Hey guys, I'll stop share. Hi everyone, thanks for joining me here live. We're doing, what are we doing? We're doing health webinar today. So very excited because health is something I am very passionate about actually. So welcome, thanks for being here. I see some of you are just finding your way. Hope everything, your link let you in. Hey, Deborah, you're back. Yeah, happy to have you here. You're back, you were traveling, I think, right? So thanks for joining live. Yeah, and I just wanted to make sure that everyone's finding the link okay. Someone on Facebook said the link was spinning, but maybe most of you didn't come from Facebook. And is my sound okay? Everyone can hear me all right? Because it's very hot. I'm in Southern California and the AC is going because otherwise I'll melt. Thanks so much. Thanks for letting me know. And for those of you who may have not found the chat box, you can open it up and chat to me. I can't see you, you can see me. So that's how we can communicate via the chat. Okay. So I appreciate you being on time. So let's get right to it. I'm going to share my screen and we'll get talking about health, your health, and becoming healthy and releasing anything that's in the way. How's that? So let's go. I'll get the show on the road. So this is the event of the Secret to Transforming Health Challenge, any health challenges and manifesting optimal health. And it's for you, if you're just looking for a simpler way to improve your health, no matter what your starting point, you might be struggling with a health challenge, or you're overwhelmed with all the claims and options out there. And maybe you're just looking for something that's a good fit, because I don't know how many of you perhaps have done mindset work and law of attraction work. Maybe it worked a little, maybe not. Anybody have seen any results with manifesting? You probably believe in it, but perhaps you haven't seen the results you seek. And if you're overwhelmed at all the many options and claimed, and you're tired of wasting time and money, I know that happened to me, so I'm excited to show this to you today. My goal for you is, hey, to show you that there's an easy system to drastically improve your life on every level, starting with your health. It'll save you time, money, stress, and worry, and you can take charge of your own life. And we'll do a super conscious journey, leaving you feeling lighter and at peace and more centered today. So who'd like that? How's my light? I'm going to make it a little brighter in here. There we go. Deborah says yes. Anyone else want to feel, don't feel obligated, but I'd love for you to participate in, just letting me know how you're doing, how you're feeling, etc. And I welcome you. If you just joined, you can say hi and let me know how you found me and anything that led you here today. Would love to know about it. So you're welcome to chat it in the chat box, because hey, I know you can be anywhere. And so I appreciate your time. You came here to learn this information that I carefully selected. And all the info here is going to ensure that nothing is wasted, that everything I'm telling you is pertinent for you to have the best experience while respecting your time. So I ask, just put away maybe your phones, whatever, because I know exactly what it's like to be struggling with health and challenges and feeling overwhelmed with all the choices out there. So I'm going to clarify that for you today. Oh, great. Okay, so thank you, Lydia. You got the Zoom from the email. Great. Okay, so that was, you just went through that link. And I appreciate it. So yeah, again, I know you could be anywhere. So what I recommend is that you do have pen and paper. You might want to take notes, but this is really about, it's for busy people who want to take their shortcut to health. And eventually, hopefully you can apply this to your own life, because that's what this training is all about. It's giving you the power to self-master. It's not healing, actually. So yeah, we've got everything planned for you is really for your takeaway, that you're already starting to get the information in your subconscious mind. And what is this? What is I Am Superconscious? That's the name of my company, I Am Superconscious LLC. What is it all about? And it's all a complete system. It combines ancient wisdom, alchemy, neuroscience, and the most advanced techniques to release the blocks that manifested ill health or conditions by using all levels of consciousness. And it's works as fast and easy as possible. Because isn't it true? We create it all. If you believe in energy work and healings and all that, it's all energy. And when we put our focus, manifests, and our focus is energy, and we give energy to healing and illness, we actually magnify it. And this is going to recondition us to think in a different way and take a completely different approach. And once fully incorporating this system, I was able to shift my life. I was really fatigued. I had adrenal fatigue, and I look and feel younger than I did before I started. And it's not just me. Many others who follow the same system also received massive results too. Just well, even much better than mine, because I didn't have to deal with so much like so many others. So, but that said, this presentation is for your general information only. It's not intended to treat or cure any medical condition, ailment, and such. So it's not intended as any medical advice as well. And let's get started. Just so you understand what some people are saying about this work. It's fairly new, so not a lot of people know about it. But here's a regular client I have, and when we started, she was bedridden with severe back pain, and she was in fear and worry that she might not overcome it and might not be able to do any of the things that she wanted to do. And she's really let go of the resistances, stopped giving it power, using our system, and was able to, through our coaching, is now pain-free and really enjoying a life she loves in every aspect. And not only that, she just increased her monetary value and really living a fulfilling life. And here's a client that had, this is an autoimmune disease I've never heard of, but you know, there's so many autoimmune disorders, we don't hear it. They kind of invent new names every day. But this one attacked his hair follicles, and he was told he's supposed to be on antibiotics for the rest of his life, or every time he had a flare up. But just doing this program, showing up, his skin has just begun to calm, and everything was clearing out. And he's had it for 25 years. So amazing. Here's Megan's story. She's been on antidepressants pretty much her entire life until this course. And that I probably haven't told you, but I have a course. But that's what this is all about. Give you a little demo and a taste so you can experience and have your shift today. But just so you know what. And then someone just on a session, because actually a very amazing friend of mine had a great experience with his eyes. So we talked about it. She's noticed that her eyes have improved, her eyesight. So it goes on. So speaking of my friend Dean, he literally had a stroke and was blind for 20 years. And he's medication free today. He's certified like me now. And I remember the day where he told us all the color of our shirts that he was wearing. So that's my good friend Dean. And sorry, it's a little blurry. I copied this for many many things, and I can't find the original, but yeah, he's walking the walk and the talk. And so what we'll cover today is just a little bit about the history of this work, how all your levels of consciousness contribute to illness, and how to release the blocks that, from manifesting health into using a simple 5-step system that we'll do, and then we'll do the demo. And if it's okay with you, if you want, I also have a free gift. If you want, you can just have a free health meditation at the end you can take with you. And I'll also, if you want to stay longer, I'll offer you an irresistible offer of how to work with me one-on-one if you choose to stay, if you like what you experience. And it'll be very heavily discounted, right, Deborah? And you'll also get extra bonuses if you think this work is great, like I do, and so many others. And so who am I? I'm originally from Israel. That's why my name is Galit Rubin. That's how it's pronounced. And I'm a top coach at a company called Conscious Education Company. And I work with one-on-one clients there and groups with thousands of members. I'm also certified in reconnective healing, magnetic mind method. And I'm one of the first, I'd say 50 in the world in this work. All levels of consciousness is how we work. And thank you. And I studied and practiced throughout my life many modalities, including health, wellness, body, ecology, diet, Chinese herbalism, dragon herbs. And I bring you the most efficient and effective transformational method, because I am very passionate about health. So I've delved into many modalities, and I work intuitively and energetically to facilitate drastic shifts in my clients. And hey, I also work with animals. I love animals. I founded a nonprofit to save 7,000 dogs from around the world, and I'm very proud of that. And hey, dogs, they're just like us. And I've worked with horses, I've worked with chickens and cats and dogs. So it's fun. Hey, and before I started, my life wasn't like this, but because of this system, I really live a life I love on my terms. As you can see, I love the outdoors. I love the mountains. I love the ocean. I love the pool. I love to travel and the beach. And I just love to be outside. It's my happy place. And if I don't have health, then, I feel like I can have less of these things that are my true nature and purpose. I know I can have them in other ways, but I'm able to live a stress-free life. I live life on my terms with my partner, Daniel. We live in a resort town of Ojai, California. That's my son, Quinn, and he's a musician. And I love life. And, I'll tell you, it wasn't always this way. I was an immigrant from Israel, and I grew up in an abusive childhood household. My dad abused my mom, my sister, and I. So I felt really powerful, powerless. I went from powerless to powerful. But I started out, this is me, the second here next to my mom, really awkward. My sister was really beautiful. All the boys looked at her, and she was a better student. And I was the younger sister. I always looked up to her. And our dad was really erratic. And so we kind of grew up not knowing when his next rage attack would be. And it was like kind of pins and needles. So there was a lot of stress. And it felt like my role in childhood was kind of be to the peacemaker, because being the younger one, I could be cute, I could be, less serious, and I could, my job was kind of to be the diffuser of things. But, despite my dad's personality traits, he was originally from India. And so he grew up with Ayurvedic medicine. We grew up with Ayurvedic medicine. We had an Ayurvedic doctor as well as a traditional doctor. He was always meditating. He taught me about the law of attraction and quantum physics. And one day, I don't know, I was 12, he sat me down on a chair and he said, the chair you're sitting on is not solid. It's moving. And that opened up a whole new world to me. And it really, the apple doesn't fall that far from the tree. So these are some of the books I inherited. And his favorite one, where is it? This one. His favorite book was, and this is the copy. I think he's read it 1,000 times, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. So he was trying by Dr. Joseph Murphy. And how are you guys doing so far? Okay, you're with me, you're following. Let me reshare just so we can keep going. And yeah, but you know what happened? Is that despite everything my father knew, he died alone and hooked up to this machine. It was a dialysis machine because he passed away with, he had full dementia. He had kidney failure. He had type 2 diabetes. No one could save him. No matter what he knew, what he studied, and what he tried to overcome in his life via the subconscious mind. And I figured it out for him. Perhaps he's very proud of me today. We didn't have the best relationship, but we managed after I left home. But, I've never met his expectations in life because he wanted me to be a computer scientist or whatever. I just never felt like I met his expectations. So I really struggled in life, and I continued to kind of figure out the law of attraction to manifest a fulfilling life. I went to healers. I went to alternative method doctors, and similar results. Nothing can really help my adrenals as they were failing. And so I tried all kinds of different things, like traditional psychologists, counseling, relationships, self-help books, all these things to try and live a more fulfilling life. And some of them worked, some of them somewhat didn't. But, there was something I couldn't get rid of. I felt good for a little while. And, I'm telling you this because I don't know if you guys have tried all sorts of things. And that's when I went to natural remedies. And it's such a money waster, like it's not a waster. It's just that we think we need it all. And this is me in my nonprofit, and even though it didn't make my dad proud, it was something I was passionate about, and I just went for it. And for the first time in my life, I really kind of felt fulfilled. But the only problem is that I was so stressed. It was chronic, and there's nothing I can do. No matter what, I look like this is Happiness Magazine writing about me. No matter what I looked like on the outside, on the inside, I would open my eyes in the morning, and it was like I was hit with a bag of bricks of, all I had to carry in the world, and how I had to live up to expectations, and how I was going to make ends meet. And by this time, all this was happening, I was really starting to not be able to function anymore. I lost all my energy, and I felt completely drained. And there was no one. I headed the organization. I created it. There was no one that could take over. We had a tiny staff, and everybody had a very important role. I was the sole fundraiser who would pay the bills. I managed a $500,000 budget a year, and who would run it? So instead of thriving, I was just barely surviving. I don't know if you guys can relate to that. Do you sometimes feel like you're barely surviving? How is it for you? What do you guys feel, on your, what's your stress level on a daily basis, just trying to make it work? Or what are you trying to overcome and try to manage a life? So what happened next is I began searching for something new. So all the meditations, the workshops, the sound bowls, the breath works, and I would just either go physically, drag myself, spend a lot of money, try different more supplements. I went to these longevity conferences. I tried, I went to the Chinese herb tonic bar and the acupuncturist and all the stuff. And because I knew my life needed to change. I had a friend that came down with, chronic fatigue, and she's been in bed for years, and, she won't take my advice. That's for her, but I was terrified that I would end up like that. And so I wanted to go on a different journey. And what I stumbled upon is this man. His name is Chris Duncan. And he showed me the missing piece. And about a month before the pandemic, I was, trying to keep up with it all. And I still had hope that there was something out there that would change my life. And I wasn't ready to give up. And I learned how to teach my consciousness to let go of my blocks. And I started seeing results. And so what happened is Chris taught me how to work with all levels of consciousness and about the superconscious, which I'm going to teach you, and take you on the process, and how my energy quickly returned. Within 2 months, my adrenals were strong. I started feeling and even looking younger than before. Everything improved on all areas of my life. My stress diminished. My breathing went from like shallow to deepened. And what I noticed when I opened my eyes in the morning, no stress, joy. I started laughing more. My income even doubled. Like, I didn't sign up for my income. I barely had income, but I was trying to just feel better because I was scared. And all these things became like a side effect. And so what I did is I went for it. And I wanted to, I wanted to help others. And Chris, he coaches billionaires. He's a billionaires coach. He coached, his rate was $100,000 per year. And then you see him every other week. And so I knew I had to be a part of what he knew. And so I scraped and borrowed, and it cost me like $20K. And I spent every moment under Chris and his small team. And he personally invited me to be one of his top coaches in facilitating groups and coaching his private clients and the groups of people and thousands of people that I have coached. I know one thing is true. That is that millions of people who believe in the law of attraction and the secret and try and manifest and heal and energy work are sicker than ever and living a life of stress and struggle. Why is that? What's going on? Oh yeah, Lydia, that's awesome. And so yeah, I'm proud to still help Chris with some work, and but he encouraged me to take this further and spread this out into the world. And so what's going on with the world? So in order to answer that, is we want to fully understand what's happening within us right now. And we have to start at the beginning. And can you guys see this okay? This is what we call the human journey, when the subconscious, the reptilian oldest mind is being formed. We all start in the same place, all of us. We're all energy spirits, and we come to have a human experience. And I don't care what you believe. It could be religion, it could be spirituality, it could be Akash, it could be whatever it is, it doesn't matter. The bottom line is, it's the same for all of us. There's more to us than this flesh and blood, because there's energy between everything. Like we're not solid either. So we are energy form, whether you call it spirit or not. but we enter the body when, in the womb. And then we're born, okay? And in the womb, everything is met. We're fed, we're warm, everything is a perfect system to just nurture us, our mother's voice. Everything is there for us. There's nothing we need to ask for or do. We just be. But when we're born, that's not the case anymore. When we're born, we have to start learning how to survive. And this is when the reptilian brain, it actually starts to develop in the womb. So whatever, mom experiences stress, whatever goes on, maybe you weren't wanted, maybe all these things happened in her life, or maybe she loved you and everything was great, or maybe she was scared. It doesn't matter, except for whatever in the 9 months of gestation, all kinds of things, energy is being imprinted on us right then and there. And then we're born and more is imprinted on us, like what we need to do to survive our we're not sea turtles. Sea turtles, what they do, they hatch and they have an instinct to go into the ocean. But us, we can't survive outside the womb. What do we need to survive? We need our mom and dad, mom to nurture us, dad to protect us. That's kind of how it's set up biologically. Now, we have to do it. We cry when we're hungry. We cry when we're wet. We cry when we need something. This is how we're learning. And Carl Jung called this wounded by individuation. And what that means is, in order to learn how to survive in this physical reality, the subconscious, the oldest reptilian brain must know how to survive. So it's starting to imprint that crying or, gets mom's nurture, etc. But as we grow older into toddlerhood, what happens? That becomes frowned upon and we start learning how to communicate. And in every household, it's different, but we make up our beliefs in our household. And what we need to resolve our pain and get our needs met for our survival. How do we get protection and safety? How do we get mom's love and dad's approval and mom's nurture and mom's attention and dad's attention and dad's all that? That is our job. And every house is different. You might learn that in your house, you must have to stay quiet to be out of dad's way. You may have learned how to be a good boy or girl to get mom's love. You might have learned all sorts of different rules in your household. You might have witnessed sick people, sick brother or sister get love, extra love. Maybe you had a sick family member and you saw how they were treated, or someone with an ailment, all sorts of things. Perhaps you wanted to express yourself and you were told it was bad. It was bad to cry. It was bad to express your emotions. It's bad to be angry and, you're not grateful. You can't be this or that, right? Our emotions, what happens? They start getting stifled and they start getting molded, and we start becoming who we become based on how we were raised, not just how we were told how to be, but how we observed it, because the subconscious mind is being formed. It's pre-verbal. So it only forms from 0 to 7, and we'll go over that in a bit. But so what happens is we get orientated through life because all the past is all we know, how it was. And so we have these set beliefs. So we go out into the world with our set beliefs of how it is. And we just start experiencing those through our filter of how we know it to be. And we keep seeing the same thing. We keep repeating the same patterns that we learned. So let's explain how this works. And the subconscious mind is so important, and belonging, the trait of belonging is so essential to a child survival, right? Because we're not sea turtles. So these patterns, they get locked in and they're a part of our personality today. So we develop the core beliefs of what our self-worth, self-love is, maybe our body, how our self-image and how we are, what our worth is, our emotions and what's appropriate to express and not express. And again, we take those cues before we could talk. So we develop these 6 core wounds. These are the most common. Most of us have one or more of these. And so perhaps you could find yourself in one of these. The first one is, I am not worthy. Are there any people pleasing here where you end up putting everyone else's needs first before yours? Can anyone relate with that one? That gets coded in, not worthy. And perhaps one of your parents had low self-worth where they put you and everyone and the whole family first and they were last, and you kind of learn that this is kind of how you are, or perhaps religion, everyone comes first but you. So it feels like everyone is more worthy than you. And so you try and, help everyone else to prove your worth, because this has kind of got coded in. The next one, I'm not good enough. People who always get accolades, they might have extra PhDs and extra classes and study this and study that, and their wall is like plastered and you're like so impressed with them. And obviously they're good at what they do and good students and whatever, but you know what? Deep down, they have a core belief that they are not good enough, and not what motivates them to keep getting more degrees and more PhDs and more lessons and all that. So on the outside, they look good enough, but they don't personally believe that they are. And I'm not significant enough as, maybe you're really quiet and you kind of always in the back and never speak your mind, or it can go the other way. You're really flashy. So this person never felt heard, never got their say. So they figured out how to cope with it by either showing and trying to prove that they're significant by being flashy, or to just, hey, I'm not significant, so I'm just gonna be like that low talker in Seinfeld. I don't know if you're Seinfeld fans. I'm not capable. Here's someone that can't do much alone. They always need permission. They're not self-starters by any means. Maybe they had a very strong parent that did everything for them. How are these landing? Anyone relate to any of these? And so it's hard to start, and it's hard to have directions because you think you can't do anything. I don't have the resources. I can't finish. I can't. And I'm not perfect, as either you or what you're doing is never perfect enough. So you never launch, or you redo, or you spend so much time with something just trying to perfect it, because in your mind, it's never going to be perfect. You're never going to be perfect. And hey, most of us will tell you you're perfect enough, but you just have that deep core belief that, no, I must perfect myself even more. And the last one is I don't belong. And most of us have this. I know I had this one. I'm not significant and I'm not worthy. I had those 3. So don't belong. Relationships are top priority. Family, top priority. Like needing to belong and making sure that there's, you're not alone. You don't like to be lonely. You don't like to be judged, right? Yeah, Lydia says belonging is the most significant for me. Yeah, for me too. And I think it's it's our first core wound. And especially if you're adopted, or if you feel like a black sheep. And hey, you can't belong any more or less. If you took a DNA test, you'd belong. So even if not to your family, you belong to your biological family, but sometimes you feel like you belong either way. I felt I'm not belonging as an immigrant, and when I go back to Israel, I feel like I don't belong either, because I've been away for so long. So the not belonging can be really huge, and it can stop us from taking action because we feel like an imposter. So how are you guys? How's this landing? Can everybody finding some of these that you relate with? And I see some of you have. And so the subconscious mind, as we said, Let me share my screen. Do I share my screen? No, I'll just keep going. So relatable. Thank you. Yeah, so it forms in the womb until death, and it runs the functions of the body. All the functions of the body. This is so important. Think about that. And it communicates us via emotions. It sends us stress signals. It sends us emotions of love. It sends us emotions of stress. It tells us, it's the one that's saying, who do you think you are? You're not worthy of that. It's that voice. And I'll explain why. It goes for quantity of life, not quality. It doesn't care if you're happy or sad. It's a surviving brain. It never forgets. And it's a supercomputer. It knows everything. And so let me just do this on the board real quick, just so you understand. We have, this is for later. And we have the subconscious mind is 0 to death, okay? It forms in the womb, and we're pretty much formed at around age 4, and we become self-aware at age 7. But they say like we're in a hypnotic state at this stage, okay? So it goes for survival. Its job is to ensure you're safe. That's its main job. Safe. For why? It's primitive brain, the survival of your species. And so if you're safe, how does it know what's safe? Everything it ever experienced from 0 to 4, when your subconscious was mostly formed by this age, and pretty much 4, 5, 6, around there, everything that was experienced then was considered safe. So it goes for quantity. Quantity. So, knowing that, it seeks to repeat patterns throughout your entire life that it knows are survivable. That's why it doesn't care if you're happy or sad. Make sense? So, let me go back to my screen here, and we can keep going. And what does that mean for us? There's this term. Who can say this fast 3 times? Psychoneuroimmunology. PNI for short. Okay. It's the study of the interactions between psychological process and the nervous and immune system of the human body. Okay. And so what that means is how emotions play on our immune system. Okay. What kinds of things, when you go to the doctor, it doesn't ask you, they don't ask you, what was your childhood like? Were you allowed to express your emotions? Were you loved and nurtured? Did you have a happy childhood? They don't ask you that, do they? No, they just treat a symptom. That's it. But we can code in that chronic stress like I did way, way, way back then in the beginning. Because toxic shame, it's like, how many of us have been shamed as children? Shame on you for wanting this or that. Okay. All that is literally wreaking havoc on your immune system. So stress may cause your body to have the same sickness response as infection or illness, right? Except for it originates in the brain instead of triggered by your immune cells, because your brain tells your immune system how to function. It starts with your brain, not your immune system. And so just further on to WebMD, here's some of the causes that they know about. I'm sure that there's so many more. Asthma, heart disease. Oh, asthma twice. Type 2 diabetes, osteoporosis, allergies. Okay, we know that food and all this stuff and diet causes it, but if your immune system isn't there to help you, and all that, and most of this food intake is by stress as well. And I also went to Healthline. I only went to a couple places. You can do the search. Cancer, can you think of how many cancers? Psoriasis, coronary heart disease, and it's really endless. So let's talk about the conscious mind real quick. It starts around age 7. We become self-aware. It's the ego, the I. It judges and discerns. It sees things as right, wrong, bad, good, black, white. It's your, it's your smaller brain. And, it goes for quality of life. It goes for more satisfaction in life and less pain. And it makes choices. It decides. And it's your individuality. So what happens here is we go for the conscious mind, okay, is, let's say, starts at 7 years of age to death. So all this programming has already made you who you are. So it goes with you, and it goes for quality. When you want something, it's your conscious mind. If you look at the tip of the iceberg, the conscious mind is like the tip, but most of the iceberg is submerged. You don't know what's down there or how big it is. That's your subconscious. Okay, so it's like, this is like a supercomputer, and this is like the desktop computer. So when you're driving, you know how to drive already. So, most of the driving is being done with your subconscious. You don't have to know where all the knobs are. And it just kind of does automatically. And your conscious mind is looking for dangers and texting. So, right? Don't say I'm wrong. Okay, so I hope that explains that. And let's go. Lastly, so here's how it works. There's 2 competing structures that are going on. We have a current reality and a desired reality. Let's say we're choosing health. And then we have that psychological tension, as we said, wounding by individuation. So here's what happens. Remember that I'm not enough, right? Not capable enough, not good enough, not perfect enough, perfect, belong, worthy, significant. Okay, all of these, remember these are locked in. Whatever yours is, or more, one or more, is locked into the subconscious. And the subconscious's job, I'm going to show you with a rubber band. The subconscious job is to survive. So what happens is you're here in your current reality, and your desired reality is health. I want to be healthy. Here I have an ailment. Now, this is who I identify with, me, my identity. I have an identity in the here and now. I am me, and I have an ailment or a health challenge. I don't feel good. I'm trying to overcome this. And I've tried for years. I go and I, get some medicine. I go to the doctors. I go on a diet. I do all these things. I take action because, likely you're going to need to change something that caused this, because somewhere along the way, all our I'm not enough and all those emotions that got trapped may have confused something about your immune system. And, our subconscious is so powerful that it creates stuff. Okay, so it could have created something. I don't know if you know this book here. You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. Super old. This is from the 80s. And there's like, for every ailment, there's something of, viral infections, lack of joy flowing through life, bitterness. I mean, there's several books like this, but she wrote, she's one of the originals. So just to explain how ailments can happen, and, how we've just proven, through scientific studies that this occurs. Now, you identify with who you are here, and when you think you'll be healthy, you'll have this healthy identity. Are you the same person? Do you feel the same? I just want some answers in from the chat if you can. Is anyone struggling from a health condition that you're here listening and there's something you're trying to resolve, or you're just here to learn about better health? I just want to understand if you can give me some feedback in the chat. And some of you are only typing to me. So you'll have an L, yeah, okay, chronic fatigue, yeah. This can make a shift, health conditions, thank you. Yeah, I just want to make sure everybody, yeah, health conditions, okay. So I appreciate your sharing. I just want to understand, I don't know how long you've been dealing with it. Hey, Gloria, arthritis and a lung condition. You want to manifest better health. My wrist hurting for 9 months, no reason. Okay. And thanks for that. So when all will be better, do you think you'll be different in any way? 2 years of not being able to do anything. Okay, well, looks like you're an up and up. Let me ask you, just tune into you now and you here. And tell me if there's a difference. Would you be doing things differently? Would you be doing life differently? Would you be happier? I'll be able to work out more and be stronger. And what will having that do for you? So what would you do? How would life be different? Is it safe to say that we think that it'll be better, that we'll be better, we'll be happier, and we'll be able to do more things? And yeah, likely true, but that life will be better. And when we feel like life will be better in some way, we think that kind of like once I have this, then it'll be better. So like the future will be better than the now. Isn't that fair to say? The future will be better than the now. And so what's happening is this: because your subconscious is focused on its survival and it only identifies as you in the now from when you were a child and looks to repeat the patterns, if you were here, would you be any of these? Would you have any of these not enoughness? Would you feel like you're enough? Would you feel good enough? Would you feel worthy of it? When you pop up over here, did you carry these with you? Can anyone let me know if you feel like you'd be rid of this? Or because what's happening is, if your subconscious mind will resist anything that's outside of what it knows is survivable, this might feel like it's not survivable because you think you'll be so much better here. But you're this. And so most people go to try and well themselves, but the subconscious will throw out something and say, hey, you're not that. You must manifest some condition to come back over here, whether it's a different illness, no limitations. Deborah, are you saying no, you won't be different? Oh, yeah, thank you. So Deborah, you agree. And so the truth is, yeah, you'll try and get over here, but the subconscious will think that having this identity of health, of how you think it'll be, is life and death, because it's not familiar. And it only wants to repeat the patterns that are familiar. So it will create other challenges. It will say, hey, stop that regimen, someone else needs you. It will say, hey, get off that diet, you've done enough. Hey, it would say, you can eat a little of this and that. It's okay. You did a lot of work. And so-and-so are starting to look at your body. You're starting to look really good. And dad said that I wouldn't be, no one would want me. So I have to go back into being what was coded in my subconscious. Does that make sense, anyone? It's really strange. So what we do is it's like this rubber band. this is a tension structure. The structure is two or more parts working together. So this is a structure. Current reality, desired reality. I want this. I'm going for it. And I'm, focus creates reality. So I'm focusing on this. But I have all this other stuff down here that's in my subconscious embedded, and it won't let me have it. It's confusing my immune system. And so I'll never really have this, or if I do, I'll just get sick again. I'll create some other thing subconsciously to keep me over here where it's familiar. So, so that's what's happening. You're trying to get over here, but this is just pulling you back. And very important, I just said it, focus creates reality. That is the premise of the law of attraction. Because energy, your focus is energy. You put your energy in something and you'll receive that energy. You'll align with it. Focus creates reality. What are we doing when we're trying to overcome and get well? What are we doing? Where's our focus? What are we focusing on? Focusing on more illness. Problem. Thanks, Alice. Problem-based structure. You said it. Problem. This is a problem-based based structure. It can't resolve because the focus is actually down here. In a creative based structure, the focus is over here. If we could energetically just let go of all that's rooted down there, we could be here just taking action to all the things that we love to do. So instead of focusing on health, all the people doing this work that have gotten amazing results, including myself, didn't focus on healing. So think about the personal development world, how everyone is focusing on healing. You might get better for a little while, but what's going to happen? Yeah, thanks, Marcy. We focus on everything that we don't want, and it'll just give us more of the same. Entire society is built on this. The whole medical industry is built on this, and it makes millions. However, that's putting the cart before the horse, and it'll never get you to where you want to go. The truth is that there are people with ailments that can have a happy life. They focus on, they don't have to give it the focus, and they can still create amazing things. So the future doesn't have to be better than the now. Now can be good enough. And from that understanding, we can create. We don't have to give all the power and energy and focus to trying to overcome to pain. I know that the pain is trying to get our attention. There's a few things that we can do, which is change our focus, breathing into the pain, like acknowledging it, not trying to resist it, because what you resist persists. So we acknowledge that it's there. We give a few breaths into the area. We surrender to it. And we come from the identity of who we are as the person that's already doing all the things we love to do. And we start doing some of them, whatever we can, because action is the highest form of information. It tells all our aspects, especially the subconscious, new coding, that it's safe to go beyond. It's safe to go beyond the pattern. So it starts coding in learnings. All right, so back to share screen. Everybody understand that competing structure over here of what's happening? The psychological tension is pulling us down instead of us just going for what we love. So So these woundings aren't just ours, unfortunately. Of course, they're passed down by DNA. Family, like personality traits, triggers as survival mechanisms. Perhaps somebody has family who's survived wars and persecutions, and it's been studied up to about 7-8 generations deep. So think about generations of where you may have come from and what your ancestors that far back experienced, all kinds of famine and hardships. Yeah, and that gets coded in within us as well. I don't know if anyone's seen that Netflix special about Beyond Life. I don't know. It was about past lives, and it was very interesting. But yeah, some of us carry trauma from past lives, even birthmarks, things like that. And that's been showing to be true. And so the big problem is, hey, no matter what you do, the subconscious will always keep you in that endless loop, completely different agenda to your conscious mind. You want something, but your subconscious just doesn't deem it safe, because we're still operating from a mindset of a 4-year-old. Think about, like, your parents, they're still operating from a mindset of a 4-year-old. And look at politics today. Look at how childish everyone is, because they're operating from a mindset of a 4-year-old, literally. Okay. And so it's time to grow up. Wake up and grow up. Who wants to grow up? Who's ready? And no, it's true. It's true. Can you guys see how that can happen? How that does happen? So how do we do that? By holding the similar beliefs and patterns locked in the subconscious, you keep reinforcing that you don't have enough, right? Deborah, you're ready. So, hey, we manifest with all levels of mind, not just the conscious and the subconscious. And by the way, there's no on-off switch. You're always manifesting all the time, every minute of the day, not just when you choose a positive thought and focusing on that. The rest of the 23.5 hours of the day where you're not meditating, where you're not taking action to, think of positive things, you're manifesting. What else are you, so think about where your focus goes. But the superconscious is awesome, because that's what we do. It's the shortcut. The superconscious is actually your higher mind. And the superconscious has been with you through all your lifetimes, with you this lifetime, and will be with you likely through many other lifetimes. It's more you than that you think that you hear it now. And so it's your higher self. It's always present. It's always listening and takes instructions. So when the law of attraction, assuming that you know who I'm talking about, Esther and Jerry Hicks, I saw them live, when they say ask and it is given, that's what they're saying. Superconscious will give it to you. It doesn't judge, doesn't see things as right, wrong, good, and bad. Remember that pure creative spirit entering the human body for a human experience in the human journey. It's just here for experience and expansion. Okay. It takes instructions from your conscious and subconscious. Tell it. It's send it information. Right. So it's subconscious and conscious, they work together. And they send superconscious, that's always listening, you're always manifesting. And superconscious will give you what you ask for. So you might ask for health. So superconscious will give you some health. But then you get a little health. And then subconscious says, no health. You don't deserve that. You're not worthy of that. No. Remember that time when, you got, looked at a certain way and, mistreated by that man. You gotta protect yourself, and you gotta put a lot of that weight on your body. It's not safe. or, all kinds of things where you saw, brother Johnny get all the love, and you just, when he was sick, and, this doesn't have to make sense. It's the observation of a child, right? And it makes up belief from that mindset. What kind of beliefs can a mind of a child make? The dinosaur or the monsters in the closet, and brother Johnny gets more love when he's sick. So if I want love, I must be sick. It's all, and we can go years, and then some trigger happens, or our immune system ran out of steam, and boom, then we come, it comes up to the surface, and our immune system can no longer protect us. It's out of juice. So that's what happens. So superconscious is basically just receiving instructions that cancel each other out. And it could last days, weeks, months, years. But eventually, the stronger mind is the subconscious, because you must survive. Okay. How is this landing, everyone? Is this making sense? You guys see your story in here a little bit? Thank you. So here, remember this human journey. Thank you, Marcy. This is where we stopped. And I'll show you again. Born, subconscious, focus creates reality. You learn how it is. You learn how it is in your home. And you just go through life knowing that. Thank you. And, beliefs create your reality. And you start just seeing life. This is life. You're reacting to life. That's it. You're just going through the motions of reacting to life. But you are here. It's time to awaken. Let go of that 4-year-old wounded child, and everything, other traumas, not just 4, like maybe at 16, you got in a car accident and you carried a trigger, or maybe at some point you were really ridiculed when you went up in front of a stage and you have suddenly a fear of public speaking, or maybe it's from your ancestor. You don't know where it's from. And it could be an event, it could be passed down, it could be DNA. Anyway, it's time to let that go energetically. Okay, and so I do a process via the superconscious. I connect to your superconscious and I talk to it. And I read the field intuitively, and I give instructions. You have to give permission to receive it, because you're in control of your field. And thank you guys. And you guys end up creating the magnetic mind. You guys start learning without all those woundings of not enough, and all those stuck and suppressed and repressed, and guilt and shame and anger, just wanting to just dissolve, that's stuck, that's confusing the immune system, that's running guilt. When we melt and release that away, you start being able to be you without all the stuff, just you. And from there, we don't do it all at once, because, you that isn't you that you're familiar with is going to be scary. We can't just snap our fingers. Don't believe anyone's promise. It's not true. If you cleared all that at once, you will feel like the rug was just pulled out from under you, and you come home and your spouse will be like, who are you? What happened to you? We have to do it gently, and your superconscious knows the right amount for you. And you have to start focusing on what you love instead of what you're trying to get away from. And from here, you can manifest anything. You can be a conscious creator instead of a life reactor, giving your power away to illness, to money, to everything. And what happens, you see, this work, we don't focus on healing. Health is a side effect. Health is a side effect. And that's the best part. It just becomes a side effect. So, So there's this moment called actually it's this. This is the reconsolidation moment. And you'll see here where you'll see the little brain connections are being formed. You see that? You see these two? Here's a close-up. You see them being formed? New neural pathways get made through our process. And it's super, super, super fun because what happens is, we go beyond that. You're not predestined to what your DNA says. Whatever was passed down through your ancestors. Oh, cancer. My family has cancer. My family has Alzheimer's, and all this stuff. It's hereditary, but your immune system's strong enough when you are in balance and wholeness, you can do amazing things. And that's what epigenetics is all about. You're not doomed. So this is how we do it. We create using a 5-step system called the carrot system we're about to do. How we do it is we choose a true choice. You see over here, we chose health. But today, I'm actually not going to tell you to choose health. Yep, that's right. Neurons that fire together, wire together. Yeah, exactly. Instead of focusing on health, because you're here for a health webinar, chances are you're trying to get away from something and what you resist persists. So I'm going to give you another choice. I'm going to give you your power back today. You're going to choose something that, the pure creative spirit is innately powerful. But somewhere along the way, we gave it away. We didn't know that we have full power to create our reality. We thought society did. We thought money did. We thought our family and our parents did. But hey, we chose to be born to this time. We chose to be born to them. In this timeline, in our place and time of birth, whatever, we made that choice. And we are a powerful creator inside. And what if you could have that back? Might be a little scary. Maybe we haven't had our power for a long time. Maybe it was taken away and we never thought we could have it, like my mother. But that's a true choice. We're always in true choice. People can choose wrong, just like they choose health from ill health, and they think that they're choosing right. And people can choose all sorts of things. They could choose money from brokenness, and they just focus on more brokenness. This happens all the time. And that's why most people can't manifest what they want. They focus on the wrong thing, and they don't realize that they have so much wounding embedded in their subconscious mind. And so they oscillate forever. And so what we'll do is we align and teach the subconscious, step 2, with the emotions. And then we'll do this process to release. And then always, action is the highest form of communication. You must take an action from that new identity that is it. You must be it to see it. Once we release resistances, you feel more it. I am it, and I'm going to take an action. Whether I'm going to fire, my advisor that's been telling me to go to do all these things that don't work, or fire my boss that's giving me all this stress and verbal, abuse, or whatever's going on, or tell my partner adios, or just, say no to sugar, or whatever it is for you. No wrong or right. So let's do it. Who's ready? And then transformation becomes inevitable. So let's do a demo. And so the history, a little bit of this work is, there's a doctor. As I talk, I'm going to move my desk down so I can sit for this. And Dr. Gary Flynn, he was a psychiatrist working with, he's dead now, a couple of years ago. And he was working with people, who have personality disorders, dissociative disorders. Do you know what I mean? It used to be called multiple personalities. And dissociative identity disorder. So there were parts that were dormant that he couldn't connect. So he worked it out that he has a, there's the subconscious and the conscious mind. He was trying to work with them and they just weren't working. But, he knew that there's a field of information everyone's connected to. Like, you're here, I'm here, and around me there's a field of energy, and around you there's a field of energy, and there's a field of energy around us and our family that connects us to our family, and then there's like a much bigger field that connects everybody through humanity, and we can all connect to this field, and he figured out to go above. So to just take the shortcut, to go above. It's like an airplane versus a car. And that's what he did. And, he taught it to Colette Stryker of the MAP method, and she taught it for 2 years straight, every day, to Christopher Duncan, who also included many modalities, matrix energetics, William Whitecloud, secret of your destiny, I think, and or the secret to your success. William Whitecloud, many of his books, and many others, and obviously my energy healing and intuition and all that. So there's no shortage of mosh posh to make this very powerful. But that's how it works, and it doesn't work without you giving me permission. So let's choose what it means to take your power back. I choose, and you say it, even or write it down. You're already bringing the invisible to the visible, the energy to the physical. So I choose to be the predominant creative force in my life. That is your choice. And if you say it out loud, that's okay. Some of you might have a hard time saying it. I choose to be the predominant creative force in my life. I choose to be the captain of my ship. I choose to be the driver of the vehicle of my life. I am in charge of me. I'm here to live my life for me, by me. Does that make sense, everyone? How is that sounding? Is that sounding easy to access, far to access? If you were that, like, think of someone like Wonder Woman. For me, that's a great example of just she's just confident. She exudes confidence and inner power. Yet she doesn't have to be violent, but she can protect herself. But she can also protect herself verbally and speak up for herself. That is who that is. It's not a fight, that kind of power, but it is powerful. So feel that. I want everyone to feel to be the predominant creative force. Close your eyes and just feel that, because this is step 1 of our 5-step process. Step 1 is choose it, feel it. Step 2 is to feel it, how it feels. And then how does it feel in the now compared to that? When we do that, we just developed a structure. A to B. Notice we led with B. We focused on what we want instead of what we don't want. But A, in our current reality, what is it like right now compared to that? Do you feel like the predominant creative force in your life? Just acknowledge where you are. And number 3, well, before we do number 3, let's unpack what's underneath in the iceberg below the surface. What beliefs do you have of why you can't access it or have it. What's in your way? I choose it, but I've never been powerful. I don't know how to be powerful. Well, others will look at me and go, what's gotten into you? What comes up for you when you say, I choose to be the predominant creative force in my life? What is it for you? Go ahead and share with me. I choose it, but what's your but? Any buts, or do you already feel it? No problem. Sorry. I'm in. I'm good. Really? Gloria says, let's do it. Not allowed to have it. Great feedback. Thanks for sharing that. What else comes up for you? Yeah, not deserving. This is a common one, actually, is fear of my own power. You know, especially for women. Women are powerful, but they've been taught for so many generations that they're not. And there have been consequences to powerful women in the past, haven't there? Yeah, not capable. Nothing works. Yeah, thanks for these shares. And yeah, and Marcy, just so you know, and I appreciate that share very much, because you know that the placebo works, right? Because if the placebo didn't work, then why would drug companies spend so much money trying to fight it, trying to beat it, right? It just shows how powerful our minds are, right? And there's also something called a nocebo. And that means that if you believe nothing works, your mind is powerful. And thanks for that share. And it's not true. Let's let that go. So, but I love the share, you know, and it's true for you. And what we're unpacking is what's your belief, and everyone's entitled to their beliefs. So anything else you want to let go of? Because we're going to do the process. So what that looks like is we have to see it like a river. We have to imagine a river and give it a number. Something said I'm muted. Did I mute myself? You guys are giving me numbers. And so the boulders are your level of resistance, and we're going to dissolve these boulders. On a scale of 0 to 10, 0, you have no boulders and flow with ease. Or 10, you have really big boulders. So give it a number, and I see some of you have already given it a number, which obviously you've had a recode from me before. Otherwise. So what we're going to do is do a superconscious recode. Thanks for your numbers. Thank you. And these are for your measurement, so you understand where you're at. So please write them down. Let me know. I'd love to know where you're starting. All you're going to do now for about 20 minutes, 15 minutes, probably 15, maybe 10. We're going to just sit with our eyes closed. I talk to your superconscious like it's a person, and you do nothing. That's it. You don't have to go into trance, do nothing. And I do 2 of these a week in my group, where you just show up, you sit with your eyes closed, and there's so many replays, there's meditations with them in them, and that's all you do. You just receive it. So let's dissolve what's in the way. And again, your superconscious will do the right amount today that it feels like doing. Okay? Very cool. So give me permission. I give Galit permission to access my superconscious for my highest good, for more satisfaction in life and less pain. I choose to be the predominant creative force in my life. You have to say all those things, but think them. All right, closing eyes. Everyone's giving me permission, and it works in replay. So everyone in replay here giving me permission. Good. Superconscious, are we all connected in the field? You see everyone's true choice being the predominant creative force, taking their power back to take back control of their life, their health, in every aspect. Good. Let's create a treatment plan in the perfect order and way, seeing all the resistance that are arisen in the active experience. Please find known and unknown causes and resistances. And Superconscious, please create the treatment plan in the perfect order and way. Please do a massive change history and everything that's needed. Thank you. We're dissolving the boulders to your end result of being the predominant creator. Superconscious, please tag and treat, find all the identities in the active experience that identifies and connects with an ailment or it's given the power away. Do a massive change history as needed. Please treat the protector controller, the self-doubter, the inner critic, the inner child, the victim, and do a massive change history, please. Thank you. You might feel just some energy, maybe some tingles, maybe nothing, maybe some memories. There's no right or wrong on how you can experience this. It's just being done ever so gently by your superconscious. Superconscious, can you treat these identities? There's a couple of parts. There's a part that's afraid of assuming responsibility. Treat that, please. And there's a part that's afraid of its own power. Treat it, please. Superconscious, treat those emotions of fear of being seen in my own power, fear of being judged, abandoned, ridiculed, rejected. Treat those, please. Please treat the suppressed, repressed, and stuck emotions and do a massive change history as needed in the perfect way and order. Thank you. Let's treat emotions of guilt, shame, grief, resentment. Thank you. Please treat triggered emotions. Thank you. And just breathe through. You might feel like waves coming of different releases. Superconscious, can you treat the original event that caused resistance to this choice? Thank you. And treat fear of the future event. Thank you. Treating family history across all memories and timelines. Thank you. Superconscious treat family entanglements. Treat DNA. Treat family events and rules as needed. Thank you. Please treat suffering contracts with anyone, family and other. Thank you. Want to treat relationships, please cut cords as needed. Thank you. As well as treating roles in the relationship. Thank you. Treat definitions, please, how we define self, others, and the world. And please treat the beliefs. Any beliefs in the way, such as this doesn't work for me, nothing works for me, I am not safe being the predominant creative force. Please treat helplessness and hopelessness. Please treat and align us with the resonance and frequency of being the predominant creative force, do a massive change history and everything that's needed, fully aligning us with the version of us that is it, treating all resistance, treating energetic resistance, treating all the energy systems of the body, aligning, restoring the auric field, treating the meridian lines as needed, balancing, restoring, starting with the upper meridians. Please treat, align, clear, balance, feeling into the lower system and treat as well, treating chakras, treat the throat chakra as needed, open, expand, and balance, restore, spin, clear, shine, bright, treat as needed. Align all the chakras in the system in the same manner. Treating body systems, organs, balancing and restoring all systems. Let's re-choose being the predominant creative force in my life. Make the claim of choosing it. Superconscious, do you see this choice we have claimed? And treat all that is needed to fully be aligned It is safe to be the predominant creative force. I am allowed to be this. I am committed and I deserve it. I am worthy. I trust. I trust in myself. I trust in my higher self. I am the predominant creative force in my life, and I will. Superconscious, can you please align all aspects of consciousness with those statements? Do massive change history, release any resistances to being it fully. And run it through one more time, everything we treated in this process. All alignments, all beliefs, definitions, all parts, events, emotions, family lines, agreements, treat agreements, do massive change history. Thank you. Read, I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not safe enough. I'm not worthy enough. I'm not enough to be this. I'm not lovable enough, loved enough. Treat, I am not enough, and do massive change history as well. Thank you. Superconscious, treat chronic stress and anxieties. And being the predominant creative force is allowed for my gender. It is safe. Treat that, please. Thank you. Let's ground and anchor this new identity back into the matrix of the universe, including everything we treated here today. I'd like to radiate forgiveness, compassion, and our inner power, and emerge as the predominant creative force that we are. So ground everything when done back into the matrix of the universe. Thank you. Take some deep breaths. Allow the process to finish. I'd love to know when you are ready to wiggle your toes and fingers and the tips of your nose and all that. Let me know if you notice there's a new number in your realm. And not everybody put in numbers. So good job, Marcia, you're halfway there and you're still going down. See, something works. And as you kind of let the dust settle, you notice that it might go down more. Drinking water and moving your body a little bit is really good. So do that if you can. And move your shoulders around. So how are your numbers dropping? And I'll tell you what happens is a shift when we do these. And again, I do these twice a week, plus I include bonuses. But when we do this, action, usually you notice the action is like, if I asked you, what would the next step forward be? Usually it's the first thing that comes to mind. Write it down and execute it. And that way you're letting superconscious know that you are taking action. Your subconscious is getting new neural pathways and learning how it is from decades of how you've been programmed to be. How are you all feeling? Most of us report, most people say just they feel more calm, centered and less stress. And if you were to say, I choose to be the predominant creative force in your life and the powerful creator in your life, does that feel more familiar? 5 to 1. Feel so great, relaxed. Fell off my chair almost. Wow. Yeah, feels great. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Calm as a cucumber. There you go. Love that. And yeah, so type in how you're feeling. And again, if you notice an action that you want to take and you're being compelled to take it, go ahead and do that. And step 5, rinse and repeat. Hopeful. I love that. And, you know, shift happens. You just show up. It's easy. You show up and you just let it melt away. And what we do is we bring that old resistance up, 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 so you could just align with who you are at your core, not with all the baggage that's been placed on you. Because so those old psychological tension rooted in the subconscious for decades no longer has to control you. And you don't have to react to life anymore. You create it. That's what manifesting is. So you create more health, you create more wealth, you create, you know, happy relationships and a happy life, more fulfillment. And they can come, as you can see, from all blocks. I don't know what yours are. And if you want to stay, I don't know what's stopping you. You know, what your main one is. That's why if you want to do a one-on-one, we can really go deep. So you can leave, it would be okay. If you want to spend more time and release more blocks and learn how you can attract more what you love from a true choice creative structure, not from getting away from health, ill health, because it'll just give you more of that. So for those of you who just wanted to come, and I promised a free meditation, I just put that free meditation in the link. I hope you can open it. So today only, if you want to stay and receive a one-on-one session to see what it's like, what I want to show you is what is possible. What is possible through this work, and you know, get to know you a little bit. And so $49 will get you that. That is only here. Today only. I don't go out in the world and offer such a low fee as Christopher Duncan's top coach. So you do get a one-on-one session with me, and I'll give you a 30-minute follow-up afterwards, because I want to make sure that you're staying aligned. You get a free week in my online university, which is really exciting, where I told you I do this 2 times. A session is usually an hour, and we coach a little bit about how to live life. And then we do the process. And then, you know, you take an action, we move you forward, we keep you aligned. And it works in replays. So there's tons of replays to choose from. And there's about 20 meditations, more than that, that you could just wake up every morning. Some of them have a recode built right in that you could just go in. We have a daily morning ritual. We have a VIP Facebook group that gives you reminders every day to keep you aligned. And so this is kind of what it looks like on the inside. I can show you the program if you'd like. So let me just, before I do that, what I'm going to do right now is give you the link to book a one-on-one. Here's how you do it. No, that's not it. Where's the link? Sorry. There's that. But I want to give you my link to book. This is my link to book right here. And you just book your session for $49. Now, I put that in here. Did I do it? No. Okay. Oh, I just copied the M. So all I'm getting is the M. Well, of course. There we go. I'm going to put that in for you in the chat. Can everybody grab that off the chat? You guys see that? So there you go. And you are welcome to grab that. And so what we've got is in the group, we have all these right here where we start. We have tons of intro lessons where you can go starting from the very beginning and just keep going. And then you have categories. We have the morning ritual. We have these 4 core orientational choices. We did one of them today. We did being the predominant creative force. And you can just do all of them, because if you don't know how to choose a true choice, you could just start with them and you're golden. You could just do these recodes and repeat them, and your life is going to change just by doing these. And you have access to these for a week if you buy a one-on-one, a discounted one-on-one. And then how to choose. We teach you how to do true choices. And you can just start here. And then we have this accountability lens program. Super cool. It's like a GPS system to your dreams. And we put all the lenses in there. And then look at this, core lessons and principles, all kinds of different exercises, some recodes, some other NLP processes, all kinds of fun stuff. But look at how many, oops, not this, but this one. Look at how many recodes you could choose from. And we have so many. You could just choose. There's money, there's family constellations, family patterns, relationships, self-love, health, all kinds. I mean, these are endless, and you could just do as many as you want in replay. Every one of these is about an hour, but they're all at your disposal. You could just at random pick any recode you want and do a replay, just like we did today. But and as you're doing it, you're learning so much. So who would like something like this to completely shift their life? Who would like something again? So what's included in a one-on-one session, real quick, what we do is you get a one-on-one session. We can go over what you want. Maybe we'll find your patterns, where you've been stuck, what originally was created to create this, so we can just start letting go of your blocks. And we have some of the topics: fear of failure, money and blocks, love and relationships, life's purpose, morning ritual, health and healing, unlimited training for learning how to live in structure, going from decades of living in the problem-based orientation to creative-based orientation, because without that, we'll always be creating more problems, whether it's health, wealth, whatever. And so we've been living with that for so long, it doesn't happen overnight. And so normally my group coaching is $99 a month. Usually a first session with me is $99 a month, and then $399 after that. Today you could just do one for $49, get a free week. And who knows, this software is not available anywhere else except this webinar, and it's limited. I've freed up some slots in my calendar just for this to accommodate. But hey, I don't make any money here. I don't make any money off of these, obviously. So, we could go, yeah, you'd love to sign up. I'd love to have you, Marcy. Here are what people are saying. So I'll send you an email. Get started with the one-on-one, that's for sure, so we can get to know you. And we'd love to get you started. And just basically, as you move into manifesting, your subconscious, when you're in the program, it's awesome, because what happens is I'll put in the link, actually. Let me stop share, Marcy, and I'll put in the link if you want to join that. You just go to my website. I'll put it for you, and it's just at the bottom. You can join right there. And you'll go into the Facebook group. You can have your one-on-one, but you can join there. So very cool. I'm excited. And I'll share my screen again. Just anyone have any questions on any of this? And that's what I used, you know, literally, I just showed up, plugged in, but you have to show up. What happens after the first week, Alice? You have the option to continue, but, and I'll, you know, you can sign up as a monthly member. I have different packages too. I have like, you can do one-on-ones with me and get, if you sign up for a one-on-one package, you know, I do, there's a 3-month package that we can do, and you get the group for a year automatically. And you can have that as well. And you can, yeah, we can work in package. I do one-on-ones, but mostly, you know, the group is consistent. There's an online university and the Facebook group. And you just show up. It's like plug and play. Show up, get your recode, and get tons more along the way, because there's so many hours. There's like 200 lessons in there. And so you can just go at your own pace. As long as you're showing up once a week for either a live or a replay, those will start melting away, you know, the woundings, as we say. These things, you know, they start up, up, up. And as you're doing that, what happens? Remember I showed you my rubber band? What happens is that this tension, and so when you're trying to go for all these things that you love, is this just becomes lighter, so you can keep moving forward. And as this, it's like a new language, you know, we are speaking in problem language, we're speaking in resisting language, we're speaking in getting away from and healing, and that's only going to get us into more trouble. And so we want to just nip it in the bud. So the more you show up, the more you start, you know, when you learn a new language, you start speaking, you know, a little bit at a time, trying to explain it to other people. Oh, it's a superconscious, and it, you know, problem, and it's structure, and it's wounding, and it's all this stuff. But then you're able to live it. And when you're able to live it, there's nothing you can't create. Yeah, we're going to end it too. I stayed longer as well. Any more questions? But that's kind of how we do it. If you show up, it's inevitable. You become a creator. And it's the best thing since sliced bread. And sliced bread isn't that good for you. All right, who's with me? Who's with me with the sessions? Everybody got? The packages are on the website, but the one-on-one is not. Well, there is, but it's more expensive. So yeah. So Marcy, grab this link, book your one-on-one so you can have that discount, because I'm not offering it outside on my website. That's just a secret. Okay. And then you can go and sign up on the thing. And you know, when you sign up, you'll still get the free week. Awesome. Great, great, Alice. I can't wait to see you. So you're booking, yeah, and I opened up some slots for next week. So hope you can get them in there, okay? And Deborah, I know you're booked already, and your free week can start today. Awesome. All right, guys, thank you so much. Can't wait to see you on the other side, you guys. And you in replay, you also have it. All right. And so if you want to share it with anyone, you'll get the replay, and you can. So awesome, exciting, great. I'll see you then. Okay, see you all, and lots of love. You guys are super conscious. You're predominant creators, and there's nothing you can't create, because it's your birthright. Okay, so sending you love. Can't wait to see you on the other side. Bye.